Hi there, I'm Andre from Peak Motorcycles and I'm here in the Peak District and it is July 2023, and in this video I'm going to be riding my Kove 450 Rally, which you can see over my shoulder, along this trail. And this is part of the Trans-Euro Trail. It runs from sort of the west side of Sheffield over towards Foxhouse, and it's called the Houndkirk Road. So any of you who have ridden the Tet through here have probably seen some of this. Now this is my first trail ride on the bike. If you're looking for a video that shows somebody just nailing one of these bikes on some crazy terrain, then I'm really sorry, but this isn't going to be it. I know there's lots of video of like really good riders riding this bike in Baja and other places, just kicking up massive plumes of sand. This is my personal bike. It's only done 70 miles. It's still being run in. The brakes are still bedding in, the tyres are still a little bit smooth from the moulds. So I'm just going to be taking it easy. What this is really for me at least, is to get a feel for how the bike is completely stock. So I've not done any adjustment to the suspension. I've got the pressures, tyre pressures exactly as they came from the dealer. I've literally not changed a thing on it. And I'm just going to ride this trail. It's mostly rocks and sand. There's nothing particularly technical. There's no greasy mud. So I won't really get to try the tyres out on that. But what I will get to do is just to get a feel of how the suspension is. Now, if you saw my road riding video, I did comment that I felt that the suspension was quite firm. This was fine on road, and maybe for racing off-road it's ideal. But I'm not going to be doing any racing, at least not yet. But what I will be doing is trail riding, both with the bike as it is there, and also probably with some luggage on it. So what I really want to get a feel for is the sort of the ergonomics, what the riding position is like. I've tried standing a few times, and it seems like great for my legs. Body position isn't too bad. I do find the bars are maybe slightly too far back, it's slightly too low. I'm about 6'1", so maybe having that will make a slight difference. So that's kind of my intro, not a lot else to say really. I'm going to get on the bike, I'll probably ride halfway along. I'll get off, I'll talk a bit about what I'm experiencing, and then I'll ride the rest of it, record a little bit at the end, and then that'll be me done. So it's not going to be a very long video, I think probably 7 or 8 minutes tops, but hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea about what it's like to ride one of these bikes on a trail. In terms of my level of ability, I don't think I'm a great trail rider. I'm sort of novice plus, maybe something like that. So yeah, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, crikey, you need some work, then yeah, you're right. More practice is needed. Here we go. Right then, so here we go. My first go to trail ride on this bike. Off we go. Can't see a dog walker coming, so I'm just going to take it easy up this first bit. Thank you. My initial thoughts over this is that the suspension does seem to be picking up these bumps quite easily. First is quite low, second seems to be a better gear for this, and that's just with me seated on this sandy stuff. It's dead easy, certainly pulls away without any bother. I stand up. I know that's no use for the other camera angle, but I think certainly what I'm finding is that I could do with the bars being very slightly higher and further forwards. But it's a minor thing. It's not a long way off. I mean, I can certainly ride it like this. I mean, though I didn't expect anything less, this all seems to be pretty straightforward. And yeah, I think the last bike that I rode up here might have been the Moto Morini Escape 650, which that was okay. But compared to this just feels really, really light and much more capable on this sort of terrain, which I think is what I'd expect. Yeah, this is not that I expected anything less, but this is pretty good. Certainly compared to how my CRF 300 Rally was out of the box, this is night and day. And unfortunately there is a gate that I'm going to have to open. Maybe I can sneak through on the bike. So I think one of the worries I did have from when I was riding this on the road was that whether the exhaust would be too noisy for trail riding. And I think it probably is if you're giving it full throttle. But when you're pottering along like this, I mean, I'm in second gear, doing what, 20 miles an hour, 3,000 RPM, just, very comfortable for just pottering along, and I'm sure I could go up to third. It is actually pretty quiet. I'd be more than happy to ride these trails with an exhaust at this sound level. But then again, I think if you're going to be running this bike on trails that are shared with horses and dog walkers, and you are giving it the full beans, then yeah, that's probably a bit antisocial anyway. But yeah, climbing up things like this, I mean, I'm just leaving it in second just rolling on the power a little bit, and it's just flying up no problem at all. It feels very confidence inspiring. Reminds me a bit of what my CRF 300 Rally was like when I'd got the suspension done and took it out the first time. Like I say, I'm not really an expert rider or anything. I'm very much a sort of novice trail rider, but I'm quite happy to tackle things like this, even on a big bike. So yeah, doing it on this 450 Rally bike is pretty straightforward. Some of the soft sand, it's moving around a little bit, but at no point have I felt like these tyres that are on the bike as stock are not up to the task. The seat's pretty good as well. It's very easy to grip with your knees, just to keep the bike balanced and where it needs to be. See what it's like over these cobbles. Yeah, I mean, that's all fine. That's all pretty easy. I mean, it's a fairly rough surface, but none of these stones are particularly big. Let's give it a bit more, see how we go. Yeah, and over some of these sort of little dips, where again with my CRF 300 it would wallow a little bit and bounce a couple of times, the suspension stamps it out in one hit. There's one, there's another. So yeah, for that, this is spot on. I mean, I'm sure I can improve it by tweaking the suspension settings, and I will do that. But for now, for riding these sorts of trails, this is pretty much ideal, and at least what I hoped for, if not more. It's slightly rocky climb coming up here, but again, the bike just rolls up. I'm just taking it really easy in second. Even any of these rocks and sort of steps, it just glides over them. Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe I'll stop up here for a pic. Oh, I see there's a Land Rover coming towards me. So we go, I think that's more than halfway along the Houndkirk Road from Ringing Low Road to Fox House on the west side of Sheffield. Bike's been great. Don't really know what I expected. You know, I've seen these things doing the Dakar, and I know I'm never going to be doing that. You know, you see these things flying across the desert, and you do wonder, you know, if you get that on a trail, how is it really going to behave? And yeah, from what I've tried just now, it's just a very easy to ride trail bike. I mean, it has quite a high seat, so if you're not used to that, that could take some practice. But yeah, it reminds me a lot of when I got my CRF 300 Rally, my Honda, and the stock suspension was quite soft, and I remember when I switched it over, the confidence that you get from that is massive, at least I did. And just riding this exactly as it comes out of the box with no special suspension setup, just worked really, really well. You know, there seems to be lots of traction. Could probably even be running lower pressures on the tyres, but it's running what was delivered. I'll certainly have a play around with that. There's no mud or anything, so I've not really had a chance to have the practice there. But certainly on this sort of soft sand, rock, you know, gravel, this sort of granite that pokes up through the ground that's almost a bit like steps. The bike's just rolled over it all, and it's been brilliant. So yeah, really, really impressed, really pleased. It's done exactly what I hoped it would do. I know that's not much of a revelation if you're hoping for some shocking thing where I said, actually, I've ridden it and it's rubbish. Yeah, I don't think it is. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to do the rest of this. There's not far to go now. There's just a bit of a downhill, and then once I'm down, I'll record my final thoughts, and that's this video done. Right then, this rain is getting heavier, so I'd better crack on. Now we have some more trucks coming up. Might just let them come through. I do get that actually just riding like this, we can't really see the bike underneath me. Doesn't exactly make for great video, so sorry about that. But, you know, at least you can see just how, well, hopefully, how easy it is to do on this bike. It's a fairly easy trail, really. It's especially on this bit where it's quite hard packed sand. Although every now and again there's a little loose bit, which yeah, gives the tyres something to do. But you know what? It's all just easy. I have a gate to open. well, that is pretty much it. It's the last gate. So I think I'll just ride down here, I'll pull over on an open bit and give you my final thoughts. So that's it. That is my really short video taking my Kove 450 rally for a very gentle trail ride along the Houndkirk Road, which is part of the Trans-Euro Trail that runs through the Peak District out on the west side of Sheffield. It's fine, you know, I don't know why I suspected anything different, which probably means this video is a little bit pointless, but I suspect not everyone that buys one of these is going to go and race the Dakar or do any sort of rally racing like that, especially in the standard version. But if you're getting one so you've got a bike that's got a little bit more go for getting to some trails where you can easily take it on the trails, it does that perfectly. Yeah, no rattles, no false neutrals, the brakes are fine. I actually forgot to turn the ABS off and didn't even notice it. I don't know whether it shuts down at certain speeds. But yeah, coming over all that road, which you can kind of just see behind me, didn't matter whether it was rocks, soft sand, soft gravel, yeah, the bike just rolled over all of it, did it really well. I think it would probably be better with the suspension set up properly and maybe with some slightly lower tyre pressures, maybe even some different tyres. But frankly, for what I'm doing, it was perfect. Yeah, really pleased, really pleased. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. I hope that's been interesting and useful. If it has, please check out my other content about my Kove 450 rally and anything else. Thanks for watching.